Well, the Sonic movie came out recently, and I finally got down to seeing it after all this time. I initially wanted to see it a few days after it came out, but I didn't have the opportunity to. And I know you were always telling me, when are you going to see the Sonic movie? I already saw it. I really want you to see it so we can talk about it, because you know how I am with spoilers.
Yeah,
Yeah, but it's
yeah.
it's
I didn't see it in theaters. I watched it online because I I wasn't confident in giving Paramount my money.
you are
Uh,
a pirate.
yeah, I am, but I didn't know. I didn't know if I was gonna like it or not, so I didn't really want to take the risk.
W-
Uh, but yeah,
Well, as long as there's an official way to see something, I'm not gonna pirate the movie. It's not like Nintendo where they take down emulation sites and they only offer NES and SNES games. I mean, I want to play some GameCube games and I don't want to pay the ridiculous price for Chibi Robo. So, I think emulation's different, but this isn't an argument about the morality of piracy or that. We're gonna talk about the Sonic movie, and I think our stance on Sonic is similar but different in a lot of ways. I'll go first. I
hmm
started playing Sonic games roughly 10 years ago, so around the same time I started playing Nintendo games. And I got Sonic Classic Collection for the DS. It had Sonic 1, 2, 3, but it also had Sonic and Knuckles, along with Sonic 3 and Knuckles, and Sonic 2 and Knuckles. Oddly enough, it didn't have the Blue Sphere minigame on its own, but I had a lot of fun playing it. I really liked it. So I got more Sonic games after that, and I think I've played quite a few of the mainline ones. I've played all the ones on the Genesis, Sonic Mania. I've played Sonic Adventure, and I have Sonic Adventure 2 Battle for the GameCube, but I want to beat the first one before going into that. So you can say I'm a fan of the series, but I don't hold it in this regard where I'm so hyped about the latest entry or really curious to know what Sega's doing. Because knowing the state of
yeah,
Sonic now, it's hard to get excited for the games, considering that a lot of them turn out to be flops. I mean, we got Sonic 06, Sonic Lost World, Sonic Boom, and Sonic Forces recently.
yeah. No, I'd say you're more of a casual Sonic fan. I think I'm a little bit more hardcore, but the sentiments you do have about the franchise now, uh, are very true. I honestly don't know where the franchise is going right now, and I've been kind of dissatisfied with them for I think the last 10 years, at least with modern Sonic. There's just a lot of things that need to change. And if this next modern game is anything like Forces, then honestly, I might be done with the 3D games. But with that said, I grew up with Sonic growing up when I was like 6 years old. Uh, I think it was Sonic Mega Collection Plus on the PlayStation 2. So I played all the Genesis games. I played a lot of the Game Gear games, which I really like too.
Yeah, those are
Um,
pretty good. I played that game with the
yeah,
dentist out of all places, Sonic Mega Collection. They have a
yeah, no,
PS2 there.
it's a great collection. But I also I played all the mainline games, so Sonic Adventure, Sonic Adventure 2, Sonic Heroes. I actually have Sonic 06. I think the only mainline game well, it's not mainline, but the only game I don't have is probably Sonic Boom because even I knew that it was garbage.
Sonic
So
or Sonic Forces?
Sonic Forces I did not buy either because I knew that was a dumpster fire from the beginning. I'm sorry, but that game let's not make this a Sonic Forces review, but you get what I mean.
Yeah, I get
But
what you mean, but I've had fun with some recent entries. Sonic Colors was really good. I heard good things
mhm,
about Generations, but this video
yeah,
isn't so much about the state of Sonic and about the games. It's about
yeah,
the movie because when this movie initially got revealed, oh
hmm
man,
oh, it
because
looked
I'm kind
great.
of casual when it comes to being a Sonic fan, I'm gonna give a
Yeah,
little bit of an intro. This was before Detective Pikachu
oh,
was out, so the video game
right.
movie curse was still vivid in my mind, and seeing
hmm
Sonic's original design, where it looked like something out of Mike Myers' Cat in the Hat, it was horrifying, but also I found it hilarious. But just because I
Like,
found it hilarious doesn't mean that I don't understand the criticism of it, because I totally
yeah,
get it. If you're a Sonic fan and then you saw what looks to be something from Mike Myers' Cat in the Hat as
Mm.
Sonic, you're gonna freak out, and you probably won't be too happy about that. And you know what? I wasn't.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought it was hilarious, but I understood where people were coming from. So a design change would have been a good thing, and we'll get to that later. It did end up happening. So my initial impressions for it at
Right.
first was I had no expectations going into this. I remember sending you a picture I drew of the Sonic movie where he jumps in front of a gas station and takes the selfie after breaking
Yeah.
out the window.
Yeah.
Now, I just want to make this perfectly clear. If you don't want spoilers for the movie, now would be a good time to get off the video. So I'm just going to say this again. Spoiler warning. Get off the video in 3, 2, 1. Okay, so now we can go back onto the movie.
Hmm.
So what did you think
So,
of his
yeah.
original design?
Oh, it was great. I thought it was a perfect transition to live action. Not. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Why would I think that? I thought it was atrocious, honestly, but I kind of expected it just because Hollywood really doesn't get video games. And just because they got it right with Detective Pikachu doesn't mean like they're gonna streak gold every time. You get what I mean? But it wasn't just the design I was unhappy about. I didn't like that it was like another buddy cop CG animal movie. I didn't like that, you know, Jim Carrey's Robotnik didn't look like Robotnik. It looked very weird. Also, the song choices were not Sonic at all. Why was Gangster's Paradise playing in the trailer?
Now, with the reception of the trailer, they took that into
Yeah,
consideration, and this goes to show if you give criticism, they will take your feedback into consideration. So, anyone who silences critics, shame on you,
yeah.
because looking at the movie now, this is the result of criticism being taken into account, and whether or not you thought the movie was great, Sonic's design did get changed to suit the games better. It's not perfect in every sense. I don't understand why he has blue arms instead of the tan
I
arms he does in the
I
games.
I
Because
agree.
if they made
Yeah.
that change, he would have looked perfect. But I really
Oh
like
yeah.
Sonic's new design. I think it suits the character well. He looks like he's supposed to. He
Hmm.
acts like he does in the games. He has that edgy personality, but is still a kid at heart. I mean, Sonic is a teen after all. So
He
they get the
is.
personality down. They nail that. And I think the voice actor was a pretty good choice for him. My favorite
Oh
personally
yeah.
is Jaleel White for Sonic. That's my personal favorite. I think I'm not kidding either. It actually suits him really well. But knowing
I,
him now, I don't think
I
he could do the
yeah.
voice like he used to.
I don't think so either. But I also think Jaleel White could voice probably classic Sonic more than modern Sonic. But I really think Ben Schwartz did a great job as Sonic. And it's funny because I remember you were telling me that you did not like his voice at first. You,
Well,
I
paired
forgot
with
what
the
you
design,
exactly said.
it was kind of hard to
Yeah,
think highly of the movie. So going into it, I had no
yeah.
expectations, but after watching it, I was pleasantly surprised. It was really good. It wasn't perfect by any means, but we're just gonna give a
Hmm.
review of it. I think we're not gonna describe the plot in detail, but we will go over some
Hmm.
moments in the movie, like the highlights, what was really cool about it. So I think I'll go first with this.
Yep.
Now, one of the disappointments, if any, from the movie was it didn't take more inspiration from the games because we've seen with Sonic Adventure and Sonic Adventure 2, games like that,
Right.
there's a lot of Sonic characters they can do stuff with. But considering this is the
Yeah.
first movie and they really wanted to focus on the origins of Sonic and Robotnik, I thought it was really good. Sonic was in character, Robotnik was hilarious. I wish his voice was a little more goofy, but other than that,
Yeah.
I feel like they really got those characters down. And despite being kind of a buddy cop film, it's not atrocious like Yogi Bear or the Smurfs or something, even though that's what we initially
Right.
thought it would have been. Because I do think that it was a really good movie.
Right. Well, I thought it was average for me, maybe a little bit above average. There were definitely things that elevated the movie for me, but there were also things in there that made me kind of cringe or roll my eyes. I think you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Sonic flossing
Uh, yeah, he doesn't floss just once. He flosses
twice.
twice.
I
Twice.
knew that would
Yeah.
happen. I told you from the first time it was revealed that that would happen, and I, I was the only one
I
laughing in
think
the theater.
I think I actually told you because there was actually a leak about a year before the trailer appeared where they described every plot, every detail of the plot, down to Sonic flossing in the movie. Um,
Was this
so
sponsored by the Backpack Kid?
no, this was on Reddit.
But
Actually, there are okay. One of the things I did not like were the blatant advertisements. Come on, Olive Garden twice. You guys could have done a better job of doing that. Like, really? Have you ever tried their never ending pasta bowl? Subtle, very subtle. Um,
not like a product
but
placement, like going on an amusement park ride and saying, "You mean like at
okay,
Universal
uh,
Studios?"
it was on
Cha-ching!
it was on the verge of becoming that though. Like especially the scene where James Marsden and his wife are saying, "Oh, because when you're there, you're family." That's basically Olive Garden's mantra. But I digress.
I think for Sonic,
Um,
Outback would have been better. No rules, just right.
yeah, I so here I guess I'll start with this. I'll be honest with you, I didn't like that Sonic was in his world. I guess it makes sense for the movie, but I don't know, the location is just very boring. It's not very appealing at all. But I was happy to know I was happy to see that Sonic was actually the main character of the movie. Because in movies like this, you usually have the human character be the actual main character, and the CG character is the comedic relief. Um, and it actually was kind of the other way around, which is great. Um, what did you think of Sonic's origins? Because we did get to see some interesting cameos in the beginning.
I thought Sonic's origins were actually pretty cool. I don't think that's how it was in the games, but it makes
It
sense for the
wasn't.
character. And I really like Baby Sonic. I know there's a whole trend of turning everything into a baby now. This is after Mario Kart, so I think Nintendo kind of started that trend. But, I thought the
Yeah.
origin story was nice. I thought it was cool seeing Baby Sonic for a little while.
Hmm.
And I think it made sense.
Yeah.
But using the
I,
rings as transportation, that was a little bit weird. But, it's just a movie.
it was a little weird, but they do have those types of things in the games. It's just like not to that extent, I guess. But I guess we're in spoiler mode right now, so I guess I could talk about this. I liked that the Echidnas were the tribe that were hunting Sonic. It was interesting.
Yeah, that
Uh,
was really
and I
cool.
know you're, yeah, I know you're like a casual Sonic fan, but like for me, who knows the lore a lot, it tells me a lot of things about what's going to be coming like down the line. But yeah, it was definitely cool to see the Echidna tribe there. Uh, I did see like a Sega Saturn reference when Sonic's like using that paper to transport to different worlds and stuff like that. Um, they also had like the blue sphere stage as well. Um, I don't know. What about you? What do you think? I'm trying to conjure all my thoughts up into like one thing.
What with the fan service in general?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there wasn't. I wouldn't say there was like a lot, but there was enough, I think.
Yeah, I would say it's enough. It wasn't to the point where it was like in your face nostalgia, which was good.
Yeah.
I wish there could have been a little more considering that Sonic has a bunch of characters, but like I said before, they really wanted to focus more on Sonic and Robotnik. But I thought the fan
Yeah.
service
I
was
mean,
cool when they showed the Blue Devil and it was Sonic. That was really funny.
yeah, yeah. Um, why don't we talk about I think we've talked about Sonic a lot. Let's talk about Robotnik. So Jim Carrey, what did you think of his Dr. Robotnik?
I
Because
thought it was
I have a few thoughts about it, but go on.
I thought it was really good. Or actually pretty good, not really good considering he could have been goofier. But
Mm,
there are a few things that I had problems with. For one, he was too skinny to be Robotnik, because in the games, Robotnik is a fat Teddy Roosevelt lookalike. And I also
right.
expected him to sound more like this. Ah, Sonic! Just who I wanted to see. He sounds a little bit more serious in the film.
Yeah. I think towards the end of the film, that's where he was heading. And like you said before, this is an origin story for the movie. I mean, for the actual characters. So like, I'm sure in the next movie, if they do it, Sonic will be more confident and less of a child and more of like a rebel teen, kind of like how we see in the games. And then Robotnik will be more like Eggman, like he'll be fat and he'll be kooky and stuff like that. But I don't know. He wasn't peak Jim Carrey to me, but like there were a couple of lines in the movie that did genuinely make me crack up,
I think one of
especially
my
the
favorites was
yeah.
confidence is just a poor substitute for intelligence. That was a really good one.
My favorite line was when he was interrogating James Marsden's character, and James Marsden's like, "I was breastfed," and then Jim Carrey says, "Nice, rub that in my orifice."
Now, before we
That
wrap things
was
up, I think we should just
yeah.
talk about some of the comedy of the movie and the
Mm,
animation. So I'm going to talk about the comedy
yeah.
first. There were some really funny moments in it. Yeah, sure, there was some cringe like Sonic flossing, but other than that, I thought
Farting.
the comedy was pretty good.
I
There were a
thought it
lot
was
of funny
okay.
moments, especially the gags related to Sonic's speed when he starts the bar fight, how it's all slowed down,
It's
and that's funny to watch. They did that
that was
twice, so they
mhm.
could have been a little more original, but I thought that was a pretty cool gag.
They based it off of the Quicksilver scenes from the X-Men movies, but uh the comedy for the most part, like it was hit and miss a lot of the times. Not everything was funny, right?
Right.
Um, but what I thought it had was it had this weird charm to it. I don't know what it was, but the movie had this weird charm to it, and we've never seen Sonic be like quote unquote lonely before. And what I got from it is that he acted actually a lot more like how Tails would act in the games before he met Sonic. So I'm guessing if they do a second one, that's how Sonic maybe, relates to Tails in that way because he could be like, "Oh, I know exactly how you feel," blah blah blah.
Yeah, he's definitely
Um,
Tails is definitely going to be a part of the second movie, considering the post-credit scene.
oh yeah,
That was really
oh
cool.
for sure. Yeah, Tails showing up was cool. I thought Jim Carrey actually looking like Eggman at the end was even better. Like, can you imagine him in a fat suit, just like Jim Carrey? I mean, not Jim Carrey style, but Grinch style, just using the full like fat suit to his ability.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool. And going on to that, what do you
Yeah,
think of the
and
animation? Because I thought it
yeah,
was really cool how they were able to use the
I
lighting
thought
effects to make Sonic's speed show up, the blue lighting that looked really cool. But there was one missed opportunity, and I don't know if you're thinking what I'm thinking, but wouldn't it have been so cool if they had Supersonic fighting Eggman?
I think the thought going into that was to build up Supersonic because they didn't even mention the Chaos Emeralds. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
Would it have been cool? Yeah, but I get why they didn't do it. But the animation for the most part was great. I mean, Sonic looked great. Again, Ben Schwartz, he did an excellent job, I think, as Sonic, and his voice really fit the character's design. We should get him as the official voice for Sonic in the games, but I know they're not going to do that. But yeah, I mean, the animation was good for the most part. My biggest takeaway from the movie, though, is that I was a little underwhelmed because a lot of the movie was basically saying to me, look at the movie we could have made, and look at the movie that we actually made. You know what I mean? Like they tease a lot of what I wanted the Sonic movie to be, and instead I kind of get this average kind of middle of the road kids movie. It's not terrible by any means, but
I
it's
understand where
kind
you're
of
coming from.
exactly yeah, it's kind of exactly what I expected. But with that said though, where they leave it off leads me to believe that the sequel will be the Sonic movie I want. You know, Sonic and Tails go to different zones or planets, I guess, in this incarnation. Maybe Eggman looks more like Eggman. He builds the Death Egg, tries to get the Chaos Emerald. Maybe Metal Sonic's there. You know, more Sonic stuff. I think we need to stray away from the humans for the next movie,
I agree with you there.
and make it more Sonic. You
But
know, but overall, for me, I guess out of 10, I'd give it a 6 out of 10.
for me, I really enjoyed the movie. It wasn't perfect by any means, but I consider
Hmm.
it a pretty good adaptation of Sonic for films. Considering the video
Hmm.
game curse and everything, I think this was a really good movie. I enjoyed seeing it. I really liked the animations. They nailed Sonic and Eggman's characters. So I
Hmm.
feel that was really good because that's a hard thing for video game adaptations to do. But I feel like because it's Sonic, they have more to work off because if you have someone like Mario who just says, "Woohoo! It's a me, Mario," and doesn't really have a personality, then that's
Yeah,
when you get stuff that's really weird like the 1993 Super Mario Brothers movie. But because Sonic has a personality that's established, I feel like they were able to work off
right.
that and they really made the character likable. I mean, I showed my mom the movie and she's never played a Sonic game, but could relate to the character and really liked him. And I also think
Yeah,
a lot of the
I
jokes were funny. Some of it was cringe, yeah. I wish there would have been more fan service in a way where it was more related to
I
Sonic
agree.
instead of the real
Yeah,
world. But
yeah.
overall, I would say it was a really good movie. 8 out of 10 easily for me, and I definitely can't wait to see it again.
I can't wait for the sequel so that they could fix stuff up. Um, but yeah, I really, really hope, you know, for the sequel, you know, we get something that's more, I guess fan servicey, but in my eyes, it would be great if we could just explore Sonic's world and have, Eggman there being all kooky and stuff like that. Metal Sonic, please. I
What
don't
if
know.
Shadow's in the
Something.
movie?
Oh God, I hate Shadow. I really hope not.
I am so
I, it's
edgy.
also it's also too soon for Shadow, I think. I think they got to go with the Genesis games first, but
Yeah, I agree with you there.
um
But anyways, I think that about
overall,
wraps it
yeah.
up. Oh, you could go on.
Yes. Oh no, no, no. I was just gonna say overall I think it was just, average middle of the road movie, kind of harmless, but I there was a lot of potential that they kind of teased at what they could do, and that excited me more than the actual movie. But um, I had a decent time though.
Yeah, I can agree with you there. Now that you know that the movie's good, you should see it in theaters.
Well, it's average, so I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'll see it again. Who knows?
But anyways, I'm Demeech,
And I'm Ty the guy.
and keep calm and da-da on.